The Selfish Podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land and waters that this podcast is recorded on.
Everything that we discuss on the Selfish Podcast with Chloe and Steph is for informational purposes only. It's either our own experiences, opinions and insights or our guests. It's not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice and should not be relied upon as health or personal advice. It's time to prioritise yourself and your wellbeing. Subscribe now and get ready to put yourself first with the Selfish Podcast.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to the next episode of the Selfish Podcast with Chloe and Steph. We're really thrilled to be here.
Oh, yeah, we are. We are back again.
I don't know the song. I don't know the song.
I was going to do the Backstreet Boys. Like, guess who's back?
Back again.
Oh, that's
not the song?
Boys. That's Eminem. She's back.
Tell a friend.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back. We've been back for a little bit.
Exactly. But we're excited. We're excited to be back in the chair.
Yeah.
So
we've got
fun.
an amazing episode for you.
You know what? You are back because, you've just been on holiday.
I have.
So that's why I'm so glad we're back together.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
So tell us, where have you been? What have you been doing?
So went to the Gold Coast for my cousin's wedding. Very beautiful. I don't know if it was like more highly emotive because I'm older going to a wedding or that they had really amazing vows, but I was bawling.
Oh, lovely. I love crying at weddings.
I
just love crying, I think. Maybe I just like crying.
Yeah, crying is so good. Or a good release.
Yeah.
But I'd never actually
like
met
a baby.
the bride. So this is why it's
even... male cousin, a boy cousin.
male cousin,
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't assume a female can marry.
Well, yeah, I know. But, so I had never met the bride in person. And so I was really quite astounded that I had this emotional kind of release.
But maybe the love was just so
Yeah, it was
strong
really so strong. They've got a beautiful little baby. And then he's got two older boys, and they were part of the wedding party.
Oh, beautiful. And so is this on your
my
maternal side?
side?
Or, your mum's side. Okay.
Mum's side. Yeah. So it was just a really beautiful wedding to go to.
And I do love family weddings because then all the families there.
I know.
And
it was so
beautiful,
like that connection piece.
So did the boys go or were
not
they
to the wedding?
locked up
No,
in the hotel room?
they were looked after by another beautiful friend of mine on the Goldie. So the kids were like totally stoked to have a babysitter and to be without parents.
And you do look very sun-kissed. You look,
got a bit of sun. Well, I mean, Queensland.
I know.
It's always sunny
we should all
up
move
there.
To Queensland.
Well, I've been looking at real estate, let's be honest.
Well, if you move up there, I've got to move up there too.
I know. Well, so I wouldn't probably move to the Goldie. So we spent 3 nights on the Goldie, and then we went to Noosa for 5 nights.
Yep.
So I think the Sunshine Coast has a little piece of my heart.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful, like such a nice time for the family. So the boys came up and Adam, and I was reflecting on holidays.
Yeah.
Like what holidays do for your soul.
Yeah. And?
I think they just bring about – what do they do?
What do they do?
They bring about – well, for me anyway, I just felt this sense of clarity and like a bit of like shaking off some shit from the, past couple of months, and then just like a bit of a reawakening.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Reawakening of you or of you as a family unit?
Oh, probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
But like, I'm pretty selfish. So if I'm just thinking about myself.
We are the Selfish Podcast. So we're just living out. We're just living the truth.
Yeah. I feel like for me and for our family.
Yeah.
But if I'm thinking about myself, I've come off the back of the business retreat.
Exactly. You had a lot of stuff
and then I was really sick after that. So purging a lot from the retreat. And then we went on a holiday. And so I just kind of feel like it was that kind of, beautiful. I don't know, butterfly.
Yeah.
Kind of, born again.
Oh, beautiful. And you also did something quite exciting.
When?
On your trip.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
You're like, where are you going now?
Was it exciting?
Well, like brave and new and stepping into a new role, potentially like a new new phase. So
a new phase.
I did a little sneak peek on the stories.
You were very
without
mean.
Chloe's permission.
That's okay. I need to step into this. So no, I from the business retreat that I went on, one of the other girls in the mastermind had a photo shoot with a photographer in Noosa, because that's where she
So my
lives.
first question, was it a lingerie shoot? So I was like, no. It's a business
I kept my
shoot.
clothes on.
It wasn't for your OnlyFans.
Is it a boudoir shoot? Yeah.
I would like to do one of them, I think.
Yeah, no, they're really sexy. Aren't they?
Yeah.
So no, it wasn't one of those, unfortunately, guys. Like, you won't be getting a sneak peek of any of those. No, this was just like a personal branding shoot.
Awesome.
So it's still all coming into fruition, but essentially this feels like really big, kind of putting it out in words. But essentially I really love like the feminine leadership space, and I think that as a collective or society, I see us moving more into stepping into our feminine and leading from that place of femininity.
Okay.
And so, I'm going to put together a program encompassing that and put it out to business owners and corporates.
Yeah, I'd love to have you on the podcast to talk more about it. That would be great.
Yeah,
awesome.
So that's the next evolution of
very cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited about
cool.
it.
And where can people find you?
Yeah,
I love it.
I will share more. I will share more as it all comes to play. And
to share, that would be great.
Yeah, once I feel like I've got a bit more of I feel like it's quite lofty still at the moment. Like, things are definitely dropping in more than ever.
Yeah.
But next kind of stage of my life.
Very
which is
cool.
exciting.
That is very exciting.
Yeah. Thank you for honouring that. And what's been happening for you?
Well, I did start watching the Beckham Netflix
Have you
documentary series.
How many
I'm
are you
halfway through. So
Same.
2 episodes.
I've done actually. So I started watching it by myself, and then Adam got really annoyed at me.
So Hugh did not want to watch it with me. So I had to trick him into watching it with me. So I had to say, while we're having dinner, because we're having, on Friday night, we're just having dinner on the couch. I love it.
Love it.
Well, normally we have it at the table with Freddie, but on the Friday he's transitioning from 2 naps to 1 nap, which is a thing. And so we just needed to, like, as soon as he got home from childcare, it was like, quickly feed him and straight to bed. Yeah.
Yes.
So we had some, Huey made a beautiful like Vietnamese salad style, Asian salad style. It was delicious. And anyway, I said, because we're watching another show, Lupin, at the moment, which is also on Netflix, which is great.
Okay.
We'll go into that
another
day. But I said, while we're having dinner, can we just watch something a bit lighter?
Yes.
Cue Beckham. He was not wanting to watch it, but all I can say is it worked. It worked. We did 15 minutes and then we moved to Lupin, but then last night we did 2 episodes. Oof. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you are ahead of me, actually, because we've only done one because I had to go back and rewatch.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And I'm really enjoying it. I wish there was a bit more of posh in it. Because I do.
Okay, so she's not in it like
more. She's in it, but like it's called Beckham, but it could be Victoria Beckham. But no, I think she's amazing. I love her. I love them
as a couple.
Oh, amazing. And I think it's really interesting as well, reflecting on the press and how much they hounded him. But I love him. I love her. I think they're beautiful together.
Same.
And it just also made me think a lot about Travis and Taylor, because if you think about it, like Travis is a sports star, Taylor is they're both so successful in their own right, which was like Posh.
Yes.
Posh and Bex walked so Taylor and Travis could run.
Oh, okay. That's a big call, but okay.
Yeah. So, power couple.
So are they still together, Travis and they're like...
From all accounts, she was spotted wearing a bracelet with his number on it.
Oh.
And his number's 87, just FYI.
Oh.
So
we're 87 babies. So.
We are 87 babies. And Taylor Swift has a song about like 87 and 89, and she was actually born in 89.
Yeah, she was 89, wasn't she?
Yeah, but then his number's 87. So like...
Oh.
Yeah. So she almost predicted this or whatever. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, indeed.
Fascinating. I love this.
Wowie.
All right.
Love it.
Well, so we can report back on the ending of the Beckham next.
Yes. Yeah. So really enjoying that. But also I've really I don't know how I feel about admitting this, but
what are you doing over there? Picking your nails as well? Are you going to admit that?
No, I'm not going to admit that. I'm not going to admit that. But what's been happening recently is Freddie's really into the Wiggles.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting really into the Wiggles. And in Australia, we've got this ABC. It's called ABC iView, which is basically you can watch things, and they've got something called the Wiggles nursery rhymes.
Yes,
which
I know it well.
I'm sure you are well aware of.
Been through it twice over.
Yeah, we go through it at least once a day in full, and it's basically all of the little nursery rhyme songs. Now, I've not really been. The Wiggles were a little bit after our time.
They were.
When we were growing up, we weren't Wiggles babies.
No, we weren't.
We were just before the Wiggles came into be. And so anyway, I've been watching the Wiggles things, and all the songs get stuck into my head. I almost put it on the other day when Freddie wasn't home.
Oh, gosh.
Just to sing along to the song.
No.
Yeah, I almost did. I didn't do it.
Put Taylor Swift on.
Yeah, okay.
Next time.
But what has happened is now I want to know everything about the Wiggles. So I started Googling them all.
Oh, my God, this links in so much to your human design where you love to deep dive.
I was on Wikipedia, like Anthony Field, he's the old Wiggle, but he doesn't really sing, and he just sort of stands there. And then there's the new Wiggles and the next generation.
Yeah.
The more I deep dive, the more I was like, this needs to be a documentary. P.S.
Okay.
There is a documentary coming out.
On the Wiggles.
Just come out. It just came out on Tuesday, so yesterday, about the Wiggles. I'll definitely be watching that on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
But there's a Reddit thread with the Wiggles, and like there's all of this drama.
Huge.
Like Emma Wiggle. So Emma Wiggle.
Yeah, she was with Lockie.
She was with Lockie. They were secretly married. Then they got divorced. Emma Wiggle was forced to dye her hair red. She had to learn to play the drums. Like, then now Lockie is married to one of the other backup dancers, and Emma's married to someone else. I'm like, oh my goodness.
So much stuff.
I joined the Reddit. Wiggles Reddit just last night.
Yes.
So I didn't get much sleep because, wowie, it is just like it should be a reality TV show. I'm actually obsessed.
Really?
With everything about the Wiggles.
No.
I know. I can't. As I'm saying these words, I'm ashamed.
I think I'm going to have to
upset.
defriend you.
Okay.
No, I won't. I won't ever. But
podcast is cancelled. It's been a very upsetting development, and I don't know what to do, Chloe. Like, I really...
No, I think, can you go back to the Desperate Housewives or something? Because I don't know if I can talk about Wiggles.
No, but I can't either. Like, I'm disgusted at myself.
I'm really disgusted by you right now. I can't even look at you.
Oh, dear. Should we just delete this whole part of the pod out? No.
It's funny because... No, this is great.
It's happened to other people.
I'm sure. No, do you know what? It's not surprising because you love the deep dive and you love to kind of investigate.
Yeah, I don't love them all.
No, I know that, but you're just you're fascinated and you're curious about the journey and evolution of the Wiggles. Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's pretty amazing they're still around.
It is.
Yeah. So I do understand that. And, maybe the doco might be interesting. I don't know why that one guy is still in it. What's his name?
Simon.
No,
Anthony.
No. Anthony.
So he owns it.
Oh.
So that's the thing. Yeah, we can go into the structure.
Okay, right.
Take the songs out of it. It is really quite fascinating. So he bought out, or the other Wiggles sold up.
Yes.
Wake Up Jeff and whatever the other one's called.
Yeah.
And so he owns it. But he's just it's just weird. He's just in the songs, playing the banjo, just smiling like a weirdo. He's got a different style costume to the others. I just find it really interesting. So I was like, why?
He needs to move on.
But his daughter's now in the Wiggles as well.
What?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do a little set of Instagram stories on it.
On Wiggles. Okay.
On the Wiggles.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
Okay, moving right along. Let's
change the topic.
Let's talk about the full moon that's coming up because it's quite intense with this eclipse season coming to a culmination.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. On the 28th of October.
Okay.
There's a full moon in Taurus, but it is the eclipse. So it's the last eclipse of the set, and it's happening in the full moon in Taurus with the North Node in Aries. So this eclipse shows us what we need to illuminate, like the shadows that we have concerning our comfort and security, which is the Taurus part.
Yes.
And then how we are going to step into our true power and sovereignty, which is the Aries part because it's got the North Node in Aries. So this eclipse, like the two eclipses, if I'm talking about the new moon eclipse that we had and now the full moon, they pretty much have just shaken our foundations in a different way. I don't know. Have you felt this? We spoke the other day.
I felt really different, yeah.
And you were like really heady.
Yeah. I had to change my top because my top had so many different colours on it.
Yes, that's right. Did you do the meditation?
No.
Okay.
I sort of did. I lay down on the bed with the dog and just patted the dog and just sat still for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did. I just didn't I didn't listen to a formal meditation.
No. But
I've been feeling frenetic energy the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will start to calm down after the full moon.
Yes.
But yeah, it's very normal to have felt like that. So continue all your grounding practices. Everyone, when I say grounding, I mean,
what does that mean?
Like getting your feet on the grass or the earth, hugging a tree, laying down.
Have you hugged a tree?
Yes, it's so amazing.
So amazing.
It's beautiful. Getting in the ocean.
Yes.
If you can't get in the ocean, have a bath.
If you don't
have a longer
bath,
shower.
put your feet in the tub, like in a laundry basket.
Yep, exactly. So continuing those practices really help you.
Okay.
But it is a time of, release. So you'll also be asked to kind of focus on your relationships to yourself and other people as well. Where have you not been honouring your true desires? So this is something that will come up around the full moon. Where have you been afraid to be selfish? So asking yourselves these questions. Where have you been holding back and procrastinating? So the eclipse will push you out of your comfort zone, forcing you to leave behind what is familiar and to honour your full evolutionary potential. So there's big shifts.
I love that.
It's pretty cool, actually. But totally
that really resonates with a lot of what's happening in my life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Totally. I bloody did a photo shoot. Stepping out of my comfort zone. So, yeah, it's very...
Well, we've started undoing boxes that we've had. And that's not just it's not just a box. It's years and it's a lot of... Because we moved house in a hurry after Arthur died and we just bought this house literally within 3 weeks.
Yep.
We settled on the day of his memorial and we just got family and friends to come pack the house. It was such a traumatic time, as you could imagine. But we just needed to get out of that house because that was sort of the house. And we've still got, all of the cards and all of his teddy bears and this and that. But it wasn't just that. It was all of the other boxes, everything. And we started the weekend just being
clearing it out.
And it feels good. And it's going to be hard. But it feels like...
Yeah, it'll be uncomfortable.
It is.
For sure.
Yeah, and I was in tears going,
absolutely.
Looking at the stuff and I don't want it to be put away, but I'm not ready to deal with some things I'm not ready to deal with yet.
Yes.
And, that will evolve as we decide what to do. But, yeah, it feels like it's a big...
Yeah.
Metamorphosis. I know you talked before about the butterfly and it feels like we're sort of moving through that and it is hard. It is hard.
It's really hard.
But
you're taking little steps and that's like one foot in front of the other, isn't it?
Exactly. But the full moon, when you were saying that, I was just thinking about all that stuff that we're doing at home and thinking, that
feels true for you.
That feels true.
So on that note, shall we pull our card for the week?
Would you like to shuffle and I can pull?
Yes. Okay.
I feel like I haven't pulled for a while.
Yeah, I feel like you.
You pulled last week. You pulled the horsey.
Which I didn't post, did I? Oh, holiday Chloe mode engaged. Sorry, people.
Posted today.
Whoopsies. Okay, here we go.
Oh, that's also one thing I was thinking of, my brushes. I'm going to clean all my brushes after I re-listened to the last episode about Megan and oh my goodness, I've got all my brushes ready to wash. Maybe I'll do a little post around that.
Yes.
Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. Oh, I've pulled it upright and it is, you're going to laugh.
Okay, what is it?
The Emperor.
Oh.
So it's this powerful looking man. You probably could lose a few kilos. He looks a bit rotund. But he's wearing this big he's sitting on a throne. There's a skull of a ram above him. He's got this beautiful coat on in this magenta colour and it says respect, leadership, father figure, divine masculine energy, structure, authority, stability, control, discipline, and focus.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Wowie.
The emperor is a stoic ruler, representative of the divine masculine energies. He holds power, authority, and complete order for the benefit of his people. He is the king of all kings. He is a symbol of the masculine principle, the paternal figure in life that gives structure, creates rules, systems, and imparts knowledge.
Wow.
In love, it refers to a traditional relationship, use of logic in love, unexpressed emotions. For career, it's creating processes, structure, discipline, routine, and is like a mentor figure. Finance, creating processes, structure, discipline, routine, and mentor. I don't know why it says the same thing there, but obviously.
I was going to say, did you just read the same thing twice?
I didn't. I should have read it. It's weird that it's the same for career and finance.
Yeah,
but
interesting. It's just interesting pulling that card after you're talking about
feminine,
the space you're moving into. But maybe that's saying, the yin to the yang.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I think that, we need both feminine and masculine.
Sure.
We all hold both feminine and masculine qualities.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow.
So moving into our amazing interview with a very special guest today, we've got Bridie Walker to share her knowledge around health, wellness. She is a PT and qualified Pilates instructor. She is helping women build a body that they love in a healthy, sustainable way with approaching their food intake and fitness.
Welcome to the podcast, Bridie, and please tell us a bit about your business and She Moves.
So there's two prongs to the business really, which is personal training at home, so workouts from home 3 mornings a week. I had kids and I found it even hard to work out as a Pilates instructor. Like I teach a class and my clients would be like, oh, who's got the kids today? I'm like, this is my job. This is my work. And people are questioning why I'm like here. Yeah. And then so I found I just thought if I'm finding it hard, other women with little kids are finding it hard. And well, I'll just take it home and we'll see how that goes. So that's one side of it, to help women just get fit at home who feel intimidated by gyms or can't be bothered or don't want to get dressed up and look nice or, that type of thing. And then the other side of the business is more coaching, body image, food, good nutrition, and trying to turn healthy habits into a lifestyle rather than, some torturous cycle of hating ourselves.
Yeah. And when you're talking about that first prong about at home, so what does that actually mean? So how would people, is there an app or is it, on Instagram Live? What does that look like?
Yes, right. Sorry. So Facebook group, and then I just go live from that Facebook group 3 mornings a week, live, so people can do it live or they can do it later. The workouts are 30 minutes. It's literally in my lounge room. I roll out of bed and do it, so it's very approachable. Really,
I love that. It's kind of like, because you kind of demonstrate that you just roll out of bed, and then so it kind of frees other women to kind of do the same.
Yeah, that's the whole idea, is just to be like, there are a million reasons why we won't do it, why we don't want to, why we can't be fucked. Can I swear?
Yes, please do.
Why you're never going to make it happen, and then you don't want to do it and do it.
Yes.
It's so much better, and your morning roll's a bit better, and you like yourself a little bit more. And if we can just get rid of lots of those barriers to entry, it makes it a lot easier and better. Your life just feels better, I think.
Totally. Is it, how long are your sessions in the morning?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. So achievable and doable.
Yeah. And also I think the reason it works for me and lots of others is it's only 3 mornings a week. So it also takes away that feeling of like, I should do it every day. Well, it's like, you're probably not going to. And 3 mornings is great. and then you might do other things in your week, which is awesome, but you're just getting that bare minimum done.
Yeah, and I think that's what I like about your approach is it's realistic. It's not that we've got to go out and buy the PE Nation set and then go to the gym and then look at ourselves in the mirror while we're doing it and do it, 7 days a week and go to 2 sessions a day. It's just saying, you know what, just roll out of bed, wear whatever you wear and just come on the mat for half an hour.
Yes.
3 days a week.
Yeah. And my biggest kind of motto is like, come as you are. I'm the guide, you're the guru. Just use that 30 minutes. They could stretch and listen to me talk shit for half an hour or put me on mute and do the workout. But it's doing a little bit of something for yourself before the day starts and all your time is just like taken from you endlessly.
Yeah.
And the people who seem to be most, I guess, successful isn't the word, but get the most out of the membership are the ones who really do. They just show up 3 mornings a week all the time because they just realise how much better they feel. So,
it's that commitment, isn't it? Commitment to yourself to show up. And then it's those like little chunks. What's that kind of like the habit kind of thing? It's like the little things that you do every day end up being the things that change your life, you know, rather than being gung-ho and going like, I'm going to go 5 times a week, and which is not achievable for many of us, people, especially us as working mums or just mums looking after the kids at home, like all of us, just trying to do our best, but also removing that pressure of having to do something every day.
I think it really builds trust with yourself too.
Sorry, what was that?
Well, lots of people, like, it builds trust with yourself, and I think so many women have such a kind of, they'll do everything for everyone else. They are more than happy to bail on commitments to themselves. And I have found so many women who really do start showing up for themselves. It's one of those weird flow-on effects that actually has nothing to do with exercise, but it has everything to do with it because their confidence builds and their self-esteem builds, and then that flows into other elements of their life or work or career or whatever. And I find that really interesting.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
I was going to say, I think last week on the pod I talked about the Netflix series and I said a friend put me onto it, and it was you, about, living to 100 and the blue zones and things like that. And I was just going to say that it's all that incidental stuff too, isn't it? The exercise that you do. So if you're committing to 3 days a week and then the other days you are picking up the kids, like lugging them around, which you do every day. But, it's those smaller incidental things that will then kind of add up as well. So thank you for putting me onto that.
Did you love it? I loved it so much. And it's not even about the 100 thing. It's just about living well while you're alive,
Yes. That sense of community and connection and growing your own foods and just, like, I don't know, looking after our elderly, and our family, I feel like there's just, we've swayed away from that.
Veered off course.
We need a course correct back. Yeah.
I was going to say I've not watched it yet, but I will.
You need to.
But I will.
Really great.
You need to. It's really great, and it's
life affirming.
Yeah. Really is.
Yeah. I reckon.
So, Bridie, what are some of your top tips to start moving? So if we've been on the couch for a while and if we want to get into it, or even if we just want to, reinvigorate our movement, what should we do?
Just do it. It's like that thing.
Nike, just do it.
But like we will be like, I wonder what the best workout to do. I wonder what I feel like doing today. I wonder what all that. And then I don't know about other people, but I know in the past just so up in my head, or like writing a full workout plan that I'll never do, or looking at a gym timetable and trying to structure the whole week. It's like, just go for a walk around the block. Or when you're walking with the kids, like, do some push-ups on a bench and they'll feel shit, but, like, just do something. And then the next time you'll think, they don't feel a shit anymore. Or a little stretch as you get out of bed. Like, it is, but that's not sexy and cool to, we think so much and extreme and like a new membership or something, which it can be. But ultimately it's just doing a little bit more all the time.
Yeah, I love that.
I would say just start, because it's kind of that mood follows action thing where then you feel better. And if you wait around to feel good to work out, you'll never do it.
Totally.
Yeah.
I saw on your Instagram the other week and I really loved it. It resonated with me and I loved what you called it. You called it movement snacks.
Snacks, yes.
Can you talk us through that? Like what is a movement snack and what can it look like for our listeners and how can they embed it into their lives?
So I don't know where I heard it. It's someone coined it.
No, you coined it.
I know
you coined it. Yeah.
Cool guru. But it's just like I always think of it too as like if you're getting up to go and get a snack because like just go and look in the cupboard. It's like, okay, little movement snacks. So we don't have to work out in one big 1 hour hit or one extreme intense workout. You can just, and they've studied it now, and it has just as much benefit if you were just moving throughout your day. You could do 20 squats. You could, while the kettle's boiling, do some push-ups on the bench. You could run up and down your stairs 3 times or something like that, and it all adds up.
Yeah.
And I think so many women, myself included, and lots of women that I know, exercise has only been a tool to change your body, to lose weight, to be small, to be skinny, to build muscle, to whatever. But when you look at the benefits of exercise and just getting your heart rate up, it's like to help your body metabolize, to help your blood sugar when you after you've eaten a meal, to help your lubricate your joints, to help lift your mood, to help energize you when you're like in a funk. So if you think about like those benefits throughout the day, it seems more doable and like, oh yeah, it's worth it, I guess.
Yes.
I hear so much from people like, oh, it's just not worth it. But it's like, well, it is.
Oh, it so is, yeah.
Should we do a movement snack now?
Should we do a movement snack now?
I think we should.
Afraid.
I think we should do it.
We're
Talk us through it.
Yeah, talk us through it.
We can do it. We'll do it. We'll do a snack.
You just think like where are you getting up to go? So you have to get up to move your body usually. Go to the toilet.
Yep.
Okay. We're pretending we're going to the toilet.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
Get up and do 10 squats.
Okay.
Okay.
We're doing the squats
5 times.
Alrighty.
We've got the earphones in.
Got the earphones in.
Okay.
Is
there any good? Okay, tell us
so
about.
I do it with you or not?
Yeah, do it with us. Do it with us. So
Do it with us and talk us through the
Look,
squat.
I haven't dressed for this. I can't.
That's fine. Neither have we.
Neither have we.
All right.
Do we take our shoes off or leave it on?
So just some squats. Just bum back.
Bum back. How far? Like
Doing.
in your heel? Do you put your weight in your heels?
So towards the back of the foot, but you want it kind of between the toes and the heel.
Between the toes and the heels. Oh shit! We need to be going together, don't we?
You want your knees. You want your hips moving, then your knees.
Yep. That feels nice on my hips.
It's quite good, isn't it?
I like that.
Good.
Be good for you between Zoom calls.
Yeah.
So sit down again because you've had a little snack.
I love that snack.
You guys can't do it, but you can always, you know, even if you're just sitting there and you do a few reach overs or like just anything. Just move your body, you know?
Yeah, so this is what I need to hear, Bridie, because I'm at the moment, I'm in a very, very busy work period.
Yeah.
And I'll literally be on calls starting at 6 a.m, sometimes through to 10:30 p.m. And then between that, I'll run upstairs, you know, grab lunch between calls, and it's, you know, doing the bedtime, morning routines, all that kind of stuff. So I'm finding it really hard to find 30 minutes or an hour to do this. And then I get in my head and I'm like, no, I don't have time because I'd rather spend time with you know, Hugh and Fred instead of doing this or that. Or so walks are quite good to incorporate, but this kind of stuff to get my heart rate up.
Actually,
I'm puffing.
A bit puffed. I was happy you were talking then because I was thinking like,
I'm getting my breath back. But I love that because it's intimidating, and I go, well, I can't, like, I don't have time to change into my workout gear. I'm just about to go on another Zoom call. I can't have a red face. So I love this.
Yeah. And
I
think
can't wait
the
to hear
more
how you go with this. I feel like you're going to do it.
I will do it. Yeah, because I'll put a little timer or like little 10-minute calendar invite or 2-minute. Yeah.
And just think like just anything. You think you re-energized yourself.
Mm.
You didn't have to do much, you know what I mean? And it just changes your energy. It changes your vibe.
Your vibe.
So good.
It really does though.
It's worth it.
Anything else, like any mantra? Oh, we kind of talked about that a little bit. No. Let's move on. So actual snacks then.
Like real snacks.
Real snacks, because you are a veggie.
Yeah.
Veggie. We need to get more plants. Well, I need to get more plants on my plate. And that's kind of one of your philosophies.
Yes.
Plants on the plate. I love it.
How good is that? How do we do it?
Plants on your plate. Okay, so simply, it's the old thing of like have a piece of fruit. We so often, even myself yesterday, I was like, oh yeah, I haven't even had a piece of fruit today. And yet I'm in the cupboard like a little snack bitch.
Little rat.
like a rat. I think
that's actual footage of me yesterday, what you just did.
Yeah, exactly. I think I always try and think, have a vegetable and then whatever you want. And even like I try and say that to the kids. They don't listen to me. But, you know, like just have a carrot and then have the little Freddo frog in the cupboard or whatever you really want, because snacks, I think apples are great, bananas, carrots, you can kind of just eat them. They don't require anything.
You know? Yes.
You know, I corn thin with some hummus and stuff. But like basically I just think if you're going for like a healthier snack, that is what I would go for. That doesn't cut it. Or you're eating because you're actually not hungry.
Yeah.
You're just bored or tired or whatever. And that's where the movement snack can be helpful. But then also I do love the whole have a carrot and
I love that.
Have
the produce first and then look at the packaged or the processed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Produce and then
package.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because as you were talking about, you know, have a banana, have an apple, there's this like it's not a very loud voice, but there is still a little voice in my head going, oh, but they are full of so much sugar and this and that. And I feel like one thing that I love about your Instagram, and I think especially through your stories, is highlighting this disturbing diet culture that a lot of us grew up in. So I was born in 1987, as was Chloe. You're of the same era. Yeah. And, I mean, you've shared some pictures of, like, Mariah Carey or Kylie Minogue, and everyone's like, oh, my God, Kylie Minogue was wearing hot pants for spinning around. She was 32. And it's like when I've seen that, I'm like, oh, my God. And but the media was sort of making all of these comments about their body, like, wow, look at those thighs. And you look at her now and you go, like, she looks amazing. And even if those thighs were, you know, two sides, they're amazing.
What were they saying?
That Mariah Carey thing was wild.
What was it?
I remember growing up thinking, oh, she's real chubby.
Yes. And Jessica Simpson and all of these people.
Yes, Jessica Simpson. I remember having such a fear when I was pregnant that I was going, because I remember so much stuff about her being pregnant and they're like, look at her now. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be like Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
I used to be like this, just like wearing a muumuu around town and like what?
What?
No.
The actual fuck.
A regular human doing a thing. Maybe she wore a bad outfit. Like, who cares?
Yes.
The media has fucked us so much.
Fucked us, they have. Is it our parents' fault as well? Do we blame our parents a little bit, or is it mainly the media?
I blame my parents a little bit, sure.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know about it.
I feel like, though, they were influenced by the media too.
Well, there's such
with
unrealistic
all
standards.
of the diets
the diet
that
culture.
they, you know, like our mums were, you know, tried. And then for us as younger women and, well, children, pretty much, like seeing that.
Yeah, well, that's our role model.
Yeah.
I could talk about this all day. My mum took me to Weight Watchers because, and she's like, I was just trying to do what I thought was right. And I'm like, yeah, totally. But like, how completely inappropriate to take a 10-year-old to a room of women where you get a chip there you go, well done, you lost some weight. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah.
But I also now have an almost 8-year-old who is already saying, why do I have a fat tummy? Why am I fatter than all my friends?
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't think this was going to happen. I thought I'd parented differently, or I thought I had not exposed you to those things or whatever. And yet it's still seeped in, this comparison, this.
So what do you do? Like, how are you working through that now?
Well, when she first said it, I was like, why do you think that? And then she walked out and
burst into tears
for like a day.
Yeah.
But just it's the old function over whatever, trying to remind her constantly, trying to not put my own shit on her and trying to be
and project.
That's so hard. That's harder said than done.
Absolutely. But just trying to say all bodies look different. Some have more fat on them, some have less. And what can your body do? What's it done for you today? Is it amazing?
Yes.
Because I don't think it's okay to say, no, you're beautiful, it's fine. Say that as well separately. But I think we have to acknowledge that, like, yes, you're seeing that your body is different.
Yes.
But why is that such a bad thing? Like, can't we? My body's different. I work out a lot. You know, like we've just got to be able to accept. And this is such a tricky thing because we're all learning it. But one woman being beautiful or your friend being beautiful doesn't mean that you're not beautiful. It just means that we're all different. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah. With her, it's really tricky because,
yeah. And Bridie, I mean, how are you then working through your own stuff? Because that's, you know, as a 10-year-old to be put in that situation, that's like, I don't even have any words. So what and I think a lot of us have got things that have happened, you know, in various forms. Like, how are you dealing with that now so you don't put your shit onto your kids?
Well, I made a very, very, very conscious decision when I was like knew I wanted to have kids, and probably when I got pregnant or around that time when I was thinking about it, whatever. And I was like, there is absolutely no way that I can go on like this, having this attitude, because it was like just so fucked up.
Yeah.
I think actually I always remember I went to Fiji. I broke up with a boyfriend, went to Fiji, and I met all these people and was like, and they're like, what do you do? I was like, go to work and go to the gym. And they're like, okay, what else? And I was like, that's kind of like all I do. Like, I don't know what my identity is outside of that. And that trip was actually quite transformational because I also remember seeing this like 5-year-old little girl running around in the beach, around the pool in her bikini. I was like, look at her body's so good. And I was like, oh, wow.
I'm comparing myself to a 5-year-old.
I was like, that's, when you're even like, get out. Get out.
Who is that in there? Yeah, fuck. We've all had that.
I can consciously know that is so incredibly fucked up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something's got to give. That's outrageous.
Well, you look back at pictures of your younger body self too, and you remember at that time the thoughts that were I remember the thoughts that were going through my head. And I used to wear, we were in the era of wearing board shorts over our bikinis, and because we wanted, well, I wanted to hide my body because I felt shame around it.
Yeah.
And now you think back and you're like,
take those bodies off.
Get your rig out, girl.
Yeah, exactly. You looked hot. Like, own it.
Oh, my God.
You looked strong. You looked fit. You looked,
healthy.
I think that's what, like, from working with more and more and more women, it's like I know people who are like, I felt embarrassed and was teased about being skinny. I was teased about being fat. Yes. I was teased because I had boobs. Then, like all the things. Like, it's
all
just
the things.
We're never going to win. No one's ever going to not say something. I don't think growing up, people make comments about other people's bodies. It's a bizarre thing. I think it's changing. But when it comes to my kids or any of our kids, I think we also have to raise them to be a little bit more resilient so that their worth is, or their value is not based on how they look.
Yes.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But going back to that banana thing, because that's where we started this, is amazing how many people are like, oh, I'm scared to eat a banana. I'm like, no, right? Which is outrageous. But
it's outrageous. So, and I had a banana this morning. Like banana's my fruit of choice. Yes. Banana and blueberries. Yes. But it was still there, Bridie. It was still there, even as a whisper saying, "Are you sure you want to eat this banana?" And it's I thought that I didn't have that, but I obviously do. Yeah.
But let me just remind everyone that the banana does have sugar in it, but it also has fibre and heaps of water and potassium and like other
all the good vitamins.
Yes. And so often women don't eat enough fruit and enough food in general throughout the day. And so then they get to the dinner, and then after dinner and are ravenous.
Were you watching me last night, Bridie?
No, but it's so common. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I'm so good all day. Packet of Tim Tams.
So good.
Because
we are like, oh, no, I'm busy. I'll have 27 coffees and then I'll have, half a piece of toast. And then so I think we see being so good as actually not eating very much. But like, I've been so good. But then you get to after dinner and you're ravenous because your body is like, I just stopped and I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Yeah. And that's when you see lots of overeating at night or lots of sugar cravings because that's our brain's main source of preferred energy.
Yeah.
Sugar in some form, which is carbohydrates, fruit, veggies. And, if we don't get that, we'll go for the Freddos.
Yeah. So, Bridie, just so we've talked a bit about the exercise, we've talked about getting moving, and we've now moved into that food space. So could you talk us through what does a day food-wise, like journal, look like for you in terms of getting all of those? And I know it's not going to be perfect every day, but just I know you said we often undereat, but we don't spend all day with everyone else, so it's hard to know, okay, well, what am I actually, am I eating enough, or is that giving me, permission to eat double what I should be? It would just be good to get an idea of what that looks like. And I know there's a lot of caveats around different for everyone, but
yeah. So I think the general thing, right, is if we can move away from, everyone was all on this like have 6 little meals a day. And certainly some people prefer to eat that way, or if you're smashing it at the gym and you're like an athlete, absolutely. But for most people, having 3 square meals a day is actually ideal, and having enough food in those meals that then you are not stuffed, but you're satisfied, and then you don't need to eat for a few hours. I know back in the day for me, I would just eat all day, just kind of graze all day. I didn't know whether I was hungry. I didn't know. I would often be overfull, and I was just like, it was there, I eat it. And that's kind of my default. But when I'm being more intentional, I will have breakfast, and then I will really try and give myself like 4 hours before I eat again.
Yep.
And I'm surprised when I do it how many times I've gone to eat something and then I'm like, no, just you don't actually need that. And that's for me, it's not a deprivation thing. It's just about being more intentional, and rather than just like, I'm bored. So that would look like, for me, I have porridge probably every morning with a banana and then flaxseed, so ground flax seeds, very good for your health. And I love that breakfast. I like to, just in case you've had banana on porridge before and thought it's shit, you got to cook it all together. So
mash it? Do you mash it?
Sometimes, but sometimes the cooking does that. But it goes all kind of caramelly and like just so
delicious.
Some people aren't into hot banana. I get it. Anyway, that's great. I will have probably, I've gone to decaf nowadays, but I would have probably 2 plunges of coffee. Even as decaf, I just it's my, I just go hard until I'm sick of it. And then lunch, on a good day, I would have a whole bunch of veggies, or actually an easy, simple thing that I often do is just chuck some broccoli in the microwave, half a can of lentils or chickpeas, some sort of dressing.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And then, or some carrots cut up with hummus or something. So I might have hot and cold.
Yep.
You know what I mean, at lunch. So I just find that easy. You don't have to think about it. It takes 3 seconds and it's done. And then usually I'll have something when the kids get home from school. And, we'll often have, Mondays, Borgs. My husband's parents have the kids and they always bring a cake over after school, which is just so great.
Yeah.
And I think when you're being intentional with what you're eating, you can have all the things.
Yeah.
Because you're you know what I mean? If you look at, and this is also with the being body positive, being conscious of health, and also wanting to stay within your preferred aesthetic range.
Yep.
You make choices based on that. You know what I mean? And so a bit of cake will always have its place when you're eating really well throughout the day,
Yes.
And then dinner, we just have whatever. That's probably nowadays my least mindful choice, because I'm just eating whatever the kids are eating, or I'm just rage eating because they're crying about the dinner that I fed them, and I'm just standing in the kitchen just let's get the show on the road.
Is it time to put you to bed yet?
Exactly. So that is largely based around what they'll eat, and then I just try and add more veggies to my plate, So we don't make different meals or anything like that. I'll just probably have, quadruple the veggies that they would eat. And that's what I suggest with clients all the time is don't try and reinvent the wheel. Don't try and transform the way that your family eats necessarily, because that's great for some but doesn't work for many. And just load up veggies on your plate and sauces or dressings or something to make it more palatable for you if you're not into them.
Yeah.
That's key. Sauces. Have you got I feel like you've got a good dressing recipe that your go-to.
I have some recipes that I never make because I'm just whatever. So often I think soy sauce and a little bit of sesame oil is great. That always works.
Beautiful.
And then you just really can't go wrong with lemon juice, salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of olive oil.
Balsamic vinegar.
Yes, bloody exactly.
Good one.
Balsamic. I mean, you can make a vinaigrette and make it all nice, but I just never do it.
No one's got time for that.
I think if you make it in bulk in a jar, that's who I want to be, that person who makes it in a jar
That's right.
and then has it there later, which actually is hard. I just have never done it.
Yeah. No, and I like what you're putting down because, again, it's just realistic. It's realistic in terms of, we don't have to go out and get all of this new stuff and have a 3-egg white omelette with steamed XYZ, blah, blah. It can just be, simple and nourishing.
Yeah. And I think
cans. Get the can of lentils.
Or the frozen veggies.
Yeah, okay.
Cans of lentils. Frozen fruit is always a winner.
The bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
So things like frozen fruit with the high protein Greek yogurt, great. That is a bloody great snack or meal. Even an omelette. I get a bit freaked out about eggs sometimes. But you just make an omelette, it takes 5 seconds.
It's so quick.
Some parsley, boom. What a great meal. And then you can have it with some toast if you're hungry. If you're not, don't, I think when the focus is on fueling your body and health, then it moves away from being something like, oh, what should I eat now, to like, what do I feel like and what do I feel like I need?
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing, is that we can always try and hack our way through things and like look at what's ultimately the best thing we could be eating. But when your focus is just on, well, how do I want to feel after this meal, or what do I feel like I need or want?
Yeah.
Then, I mean, which is intuitive eating, but like then, yeah, when your focus is on health and nourishment and energy and fueling yourself, you just look for ways to do that a little bit more. So it's not something you should do, but you want to do.
Yes.
I think it's interesting because so I've recently cut back on gluten and sugar and dairy.
Yeah.
And like just now when I do eat any of those things, if I just pause and actually go, well, what is my body feeling? Like it's actually been such a big change to how I perceive food as well, because I've never really thought, like, you're sort of like, okay, we're going to eat and then I'm busy and I'm going to keep moving.
Yeah.
And now that I've cut out dairy, I don't have reflux like I used to have. Now that I've cut out gluten, I don't feel disgusting and lethargic afterwards. Now that I haven't really, I've mainly cut out sugar. But when I do eat sugar, like, wow, I can feel the heat coming to my body. And it's so interesting actually going, okay, I'm going to listen to my body. I'm going to hear it. And then I'm actually going to do something about it. And I think, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like we don't often listen. We just, it's there, but we don't actually pause and listen and go, actually, how is this making me feel?
Yeah. Eating is usually a like reactionary thing. It's like, oh, I'm hungry, or like, oh, I'm tired and bored, or oh, my friends are here, or we're going out for dinner, or it's midday, or it's my lunch break. Like we just react and then like eat something.
Knee jerk, and then we're not actually thinking, am I hungry?
Yeah,
like,
am I hungry?
Or what do I feel like?
Yeah, what do I really feel like? You know, like sometimes you're like, I just so want something very specific, and of course something else will do. But then if you actually have that and sit down and make it or whatever, then you're like, that just was great.
Hit the spot.
Yeah, and then you don't, you feel like satiated and satisfied, and then just roll on with your day.
Yes.
I think one of the biggest issues is that when you are concerned with your weight or how you're feeling in your body or whatever, we really overthink what we're eating. And what I have found is that the more neutral I've become and the more focused on health and all of that, can't remember what I've eaten. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I've made good choices, but there's actually so much less thought around food than back
the food noise.
Yeah, just this obsession of like, what do I have for my next meal? Oh, I shouldn't eat that. I should. What should I have? And then like now I'm just like, I couldn't tell you what I ate for dinner last night. But you know what I mean? Like, you gotta think about it, because it's just something that happens in like a nice way. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing with the gluten and dairy and everything is it makes you more conscious of what you're eating and when you're eating, because you have to put more thought into it. It's like this learning curve of like, I'm more aware of what's going on. But also you think of like, and this isn't always the case, because absolutely I think most people benefit from cutting out plenty of those things. But also when you take out those things, gluten is usually almost always in processed food or hyperpalatable food or whatever. Sugar and dairy are often put together in those foods. So then you're left with more whole foods or more less processed foods, which ultimately
better for us,
make you feel better. Yeah. So it's kind of both things together.
Yeah. All I can say is corn thins are my BFF.
Yeah, they are great.
Yes.
You made up like this beautiful lunch for us the other day, and it was so easy, just like corn thin, avo, and then you had some salmon.
Some hot smoked salmon, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so good. Squeeze a lemon.
Salt and pepper.
Just like S&P always.
Delicious.
So good.
In a blue zone.
Yeah, that's right. That's us. That is us. Bridie, do you have any, I think we've kind of talked about it. I feel like we know maybe what you're going to say here, but just to summarize, I guess, any key philosophies that you live by, you yourself and maybe your family, or that you bring into your family.
I wish my family would be more aligned with me on this, but we always laugh because my husband is, by his own admission, a scumbag. All the time and cokes, which is fine, and that's it's totally fine.
Each to their own.
And as I always say, all foods make up a healthy diet. I think mine is, to myself, is always plants on your plate. I think the best thing I always think is give your body what it needs, then have what you want.
I love that.
I love that.
Even with heaps of coffee, drink water. And while you're making your coffee, you know what I mean? Because we do need both. And I think it's just that how does it make you feel more than what should we do? We know if you go with how it feels, you will always be moving in the right direction, probably,
Yeah.
And it's what you guys talk about, or healing, or, whatever, when you're on a good vibration, and when you're living in alignment and all of those sorts of things. And I don't think there is anyone out there who would say that you feel your best when you are strapped to a computer, when you aren't moving, and when you're eating hyper-processed foods and not drinking enough water and drinking lots of booze, all the things we do sometimes. And we know, even, when you go on a holiday and you're this is going to be so great, or a girls' weekend or whatever, and then you're I cannot drink for another day in a row. I just, someone get me out of here. And yet you do, and you power through, and you leave that holiday feeling like shit.
Yeah.
You're bloated, you feel like your clothes don't fit, you just feel awful. And so I think it's we all know that feeling to the extreme. But then we sometimes get it throughout our week as well, or you feel those habits creep up. And so then you go back to the ones that feel good. So it doesn't have to be all one way or all the other, but you find the groove in the middle there that feels best for you, and that's going to be different for everyone.
Yeah. So as you were talking about that feeling good, I just remember, so if I was truly living in my blue zone, and I'd be interested to hear your girls, as if you've got any recollections of when you were truly living that. It was when Hugh and I were in the Philippines with a girlfriend of mine, and we were there for a scuba diving trip. And pretty much every single day we had this amazing big salad with fresh mahi-mahi and everything. And we weren't drinking that much because Hugh and I were learning how to scuba. So we had no idea. We were but the food we were eating was just fresh. It was forage close by, and we all looked at each other and we're we feel so amazing. And we often will go back to that. That was maybe 7 years ago now. And if we are in a spot where we feel rubbish, we just think back to that and go, remember how we felt when we were only there for a week, but it was amazing.
Yes.
How quickly everything sort of fell into place. We were active. We were living our best lives.
Probably laughing a shitload.
Yeah, we were.
Yes.
We were. And we were learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any, Chloe or Bridie, do you have any of your best life, whatever, that's a bad way to put it, you know what I mean? Do you have any flashbacks like that? Or
I think for me, I love nothing more, and I was just saying this maybe even last night or the other day, or endlessly. But, we live now where we can walk the kids to school. My parents live next door, which sounds super weird, but it's awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Great.
Very blue zone. It means that there are always people kind of popping in, or someone who knows mum and dad will come, or they'll know me and then go and see mum and dad. And it feels like we've got this little mini community. The next door neighbours have 4 kids, and our kids now have started to play. I work out in the morning. walk the kids to school, you have sunshine coming in, thank God, winter's over. And I'm like, this is living the life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where you feel
beautiful.
Yeah. And I just think it's, I just love that. But ultimately, I think when I feel the best is like when you've done a workout or you've done hard, I think I've said this to you before, Chloe, like hard manual labour, like gardening.
Gardening.
And then you have a shower, or you don't even have a shower yet, and you eat something and you have like a beer or a rosé or something, and you're like, I've never felt better than this.
Yeah.
Because you're so knackered, but in the best way.
Yes.
I love that. I would have to agree. Gardening for me is very therapeutic. And you're getting the sunshine, you're digging, you're moving, and then I think also for me, like when I'm thinking about when I felt my best is also just like being down the beach with the family and kind of that running around, digging in the sand, like hearing their laughter, sun on the skin, like that for me is pure joy. And
living in the blue zone.
Having like a wrap or something for like mung on down the beach, you know, punnet of strawberries. Yeah, that's my happy place.
Yeah, that's so nice. Yeah, and I think it's all that, isn't it? It's like none of us are feeling our best when we're like thrashing our bodies in a gym session.
Yeah.
It's all like all of them have been outdoors, sunshine.
Yeah.
Fresh food, people we love,
food.
You know?
So good. We had a question come through actually. So, Brad, it's about how do we incorporate like your teachings for women who are nearing or in perimenopause, menopausal, that stage of womanhood?
Yes, all the same things. Weight training is really great. But that can also be that can be push-ups on the bench. Like if you're
like body weight
out, any resistance training is great. If you've been doing that for a long time, then you up the weights and you use like heavier dumbbells and stuff. But all of us should be doing resistance training at this point of our life, arguably all parts of our life, but it helps with our bone density, our lean muscle, which we want for metabolism, all of those things. So we want to and that means constantly challenging ourselves as well. And this is like I have really been coasting for a while with workouts where it's like it feels hard in the moment, but it's not really giving me that where I'm really like actually challenging my muscles. And that's what I have to remind myself and women in She Moves is like we actually need to be getting that. You don't want to be sore all the time, but you want to be getting that progressive overload. So you're getting weights and stuff where, you know, every now and then you're like, oh, shit, yeah, I really feel that the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love a bit of DOMS.
DOMS?
Delayed onset muscle soreness. Like when you're...
Yeah.
Right.
So when you feel a bit
know what you were talking about there.
Yeah, but you don't want to be sore every workout, but you want to feel it every now and then. And then something that I learned more recently is that fibre, we all know fibre is good for us and veggies and whatever, flax seeds, all these things are really good for us. But fibre actually helps you get rid of excess hormones in your body. So it's really, really important from that point of view to be eating lots of fibre.
Can you tell me what fibre foods are?
What does fibre mean to you?
I think I need more of that. Tell me what I need to eat.
So carbohydrates, grains, quinoa, rice, brown rice. Actually, rice doesn't have that much fibre, but brown rice.
Brown rice.
Potatoes. Also resistant.
Are they high in fibre?
Starch. So potatoes and pasta, right? If you cook them and then let it cool, it becomes higher in resistant starch, which acts in a similar, it helps feed your gut microbiome.
So that's a good thing. We want to let those foods cool down a bit before we
But then you can reheat them. So actually potato and pasta that have been cooked, cooled down, and then you reheat for lunch the next day or something is better for you.
I did that last night.
There you go.
Gold star.
Winning.
Gold star.
Yes. Higher in resistant starch, which is good for us. What was the question? Oh, fibre.
Fibre.
So all vegetables, fruit has fibre in it. Ideally, they say that we want 30 different plants a week.
So that seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot, but that's herbs, spices, grain, fruit, veggies.
Okay.
Doable.
It's doable. It requires a little bit of thought, but it is doable.
Yeah.
But that's the ideal, right? So anything between 0 and 30 is great.
Okay. Aim for 15.
Yeah, totally.
Or 20.
So fibre is in all of those foods. What fibre is not in is protein foods and fat.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Cool.
So that is why we need the bananas, we need the rice, we need the quinoa, potatoes. It all makes for a good, healthy body. Yeah. And I think that's where lots of women are, it's that whole carbohydrate eating late at night thing, but then also we need that to move through our body because it helps excess hormones move through, but also it helps keep our digestion going. Fibre and water to push it all through.
Yeah, I love it. And what are your thoughts on like Benny fibre or those kind of fibre?
What's that?
It's like a
like Metamucil
kind of thing, Metamucil kind of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, and protein powders and things like that.
So protein powder is different. That can be a really good supplement.
Okay,
I'm vejo, and I've got a bit of a controversial thought about protein.
Tell us.
Yeah, give it to us.
Well, I just think we overestimate how much we all need. And because it is such a massive billion-dollar industry, protein powder, now every single nutritionist you ever see will say you need 1 gram to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight.
Yeah.
But there are so many people throughout history who have not eaten that much protein but have been physically active and don't have any muscle loss. Like if you're a bodybuilder, sure, but stimulus on the muscle will help you gain lean muscle mass without protein powder. So I don't know. I just think when something's a crazy billion-dollar industry, I'm like, something like it's
you smell something's
proceed
fishy.
with caution.
Yeah, and just like you're just being sold extra shit that you don't need.
Yes.
You have a healthy diet. That Metamucil and stuff like that, I don't know what the need would be beyond unless you are not eating.
Okay.
And then also with more fibre, you got to drink more water, just like it was
flush it through.
Yeah, gotcha. And just on that, do you regularly take supplements?
I found out that I was like very, very vitamin D deficient, so I take vitamin D.
Yeah.
My doctor said everyone should take in winter 1 vitamin D tablet.
Yes, okay.
I've heard that too. Naturopath.
Yeah, and she's like, you take 4 and all through summer. I was like, oh, okay. And when I looked at I'd gone to the doctor for a blood test because I was feeling shit. And then when I looked at the vitamin D deficiency list, I was like, tick, tick, tick. That's all the reasons that I went.
Wow.
That and lots of women and lots of Australians are vitamin D deficient. I have protein powder sometimes. Sometimes I buy it because I get drawn in by the marketing.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And I'm like, this is going to change my life. And it doesn't, surprise, surprise. But I upped my weights the other day and I feel like that has changed my life in a very short time. Like you just feel so much stronger.
Yeah. So what kilos are we?
So 10 kilos. Now, I've been on 5 for so long, which I was just taking the piss there. And so now I've gone 10 kilos, which, is a challenge.
Yeah.
You feel very weak, but then you feel stronger within a week,
Yes.
Yes.
That's amazing. The body's so amazing, isn't it? How quickly it can adapt.
And your brain. Like, I think just so much you're like, I can't do it. And then the next day you can do it.
You can.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
So our last question for you, beautiful woman, how do you take care of yourself and be selfish? Like, how do you keep your cup full?
Very easily.
Yay!
I think the biggest thing is 3 workouts a week in the morning.
Yes.
It is easier for me because it is my job. I'm fully aware of that. But just telling the kids, get out, telling my husband that he's dealing with them for half an hour and then not to come in. I mean, when I'm not on camera, they will be around me and that's fine. But those workouts as a non-negotiable was a game changer for me. Absolutely. And then, I mean, now my youngest is in childcare 3 days a week. So I work from home and around that, do whatever I want. And that feels like up. Going for walks with mates, having wines on the deck, those things fill my cup, but in equal balance, because for a while it was getting a bit too whiny and not enough walking
movement.
But we changed that around and it feels great.
Amazing.
Beautiful. And how can we find you? If our listeners want to join She Moves, what do they need to do? Tell us the stats.
At Bridie_Walker on Instagram. Yes. A new program's coming at some point, but for now She Moves. 3 workouts a week, 6:30 a.m. Adelaide time. It's cheap and cheerful. It's fun.
How much are we talking?
$29 a month.
Yeah,
that is a bargain.
Yeah.
It's like that is just so achievable for many.
Yes.
Okay? Like,
and it's
amazing.
It's also designed so you can go and do other things without it being price proof.
Yeah.
And also you can forget about it for a couple of weeks without stressing, which can go either way. Sometimes it's really good for people to be on the hook to show up, but things happen, kids wake up, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we will put all of those links into the show notes. So, and we highly recommend everyone get onto that Instagram account because it is very realistic. It is always.
You just crack me up, girl.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, you always make me laugh.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Good to chat.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
You're amazing.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all so much for listening. We really do appreciate your support. Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a rating and a review. And if you like this show, please share it with a friend and tell them to have a listen. Just send them the link to that Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcast. You can also connect with us on Instagram at the.selfishpodcast. You can always slide into our DMs as well and let us know if you have got a different type of treatment that you would like us to explore or if you've got any specific questions. Anyway, thank you again and we'll see you next week. Bye.